Hello and welcome to the Southern Collegiate Disc Golf Association Conference Championship. We're here at Old Post Disc Golf Course for the final matchup between Arkansas State and Ole Miss. I'm here with the SCDGA Conference Commissioner, Charlie McCracken. How's it going, Charlie?
Going well, Baker. How are you?
Doing good. I'm ready to see some exciting disc golf action here today. We've got Arkansas State and Ole Miss. These were the top two teams in the conference this year, and Charlie, it seems like they really fought their way this year and really deserve a spot here in the finals.
Yeah, for sure. Arkansas State and Ole Miss were both the top. They were two out of the top three teams after regular season play. They both went 4-2 in their record, and actually both got to skip out of the first round of this tournament and straight into semifinals, which they both won. And now they're here in a 27-hole doubles playoff.
Yeah, it should be fun to watch. A little different format from the semifinals. But here we are in hole one. It's 498 feet, a par 3. And up first, we have Parker Sitton from Arkansas State. He turns his disc over a little bit, but that'll still give them easy up and down for 3.
Yeah, for sure. The play on this hole is really just to get as much distance as you can. And it doesn't really matter if you land right or left. The only bad play would be going into the road, which is OB on the left. Jonathan Underwood from A-State's put an absolutely fantastic move on that disc, and it's probably about 85 to 90 feet away from the pin, so they'll be looking at an easy 3 and maybe a look at 2 if the first upshot is good.
Yeah, and up next we got Parker Bial, one of the 4 Parkers here we have on the card. Ole Miss has 3 Parkers on the team, and Arkansas State has a Parker of their own.
You'll have to excuse us if we mess up on some Parkers here.
Yeah, his shot fades out a little bit too early, and they're going to be looking for a better shot here by the one man not named Parker, Cole Neal.
Cole Neal's a freshman from Ole Miss, and he's one of the gems of the conference. He's a really competitive player, and he throws all prodigy, so I'm not going to be able to name his discs that well. But as you can see, he's got a cannon, and that is going to give Ole Miss a chance to maybe look at a 2 on this hole.
Yeah, we have Arkansas State lining up the putt. This is going to be Dawson Burge, always a dangerous deep threat putter. Just kind of lays one up there, and that's going to let Jared Ashburner have a chance to run it.
Yeah, Jared sailed that one a little bit high, but in doubles play, that's why we have 2 people, and Dawson's inside 15 feet, so Jared was trying to throw that one in for 2.
Yeah, and this is Parker Sowers from Ole Miss, and he just misses a little left, but he should be close enough to give them a chance to run it.
Yeah, this is Parker Brewster with the Captain America pants, and he doesn't quite get the height underneath that putt, but Ole Miss is going to have an easy 3, and we'll see if A-State can match it.
Yeah, and Parker Sitton here is going to tap in for the par for Arkansas State. And, a nice, good way to get started there, not pressing for the birdie, got the par, and move on to the next hole.
Yeah, for sure. A 3 on this hole is not going to lose you any strokes in doubles. A 2 is almost miraculous. You have to hit a big putt or throw a roller or some sort of shot with a big tailwind that's going to carry all the way to the basket. So through the first hole, both teams are tied. It's 27 holes. No one's really going to be worrying about staying even through that first hole where competition is a bit less intense.
Yeah, we've got a long way to go. And here's Jared Ashburner on the box for Arkansas State, and he throws a nice hyzer out there. And the play on this hole is you're just going to try to put it right under the basket. It's right there in front of you. This should be one that both teams are looking to birdie.
Yeah, this is about as close to a must-get as you can get at Old Post. It gets a little bit longer and more tricky as we go up the hill. Dawson corrected a little bit off of Jared's line and took it a little bit wider. It's coming in hot still. And he faded out just a little bit early, probably still 25 feet or so, looking for a 2. Parker Sowers has got a great forehand, and he's about to show us the other line on this hole. It's really kind of up to the players whether they want to throw forehand or backhand. There's not much of a slope to worry about, so it's really just about how comfortable you are with your shot.
Yeah, and Sowers shows off his forehand there. He's one of the returners from Ole Miss, the only one returning from this roster. And next up is going to be Parker Brewster for Ole Miss, and he's going to look to line up the backhand shot here.
It's looking good. He got a little bit more height underneath it and swung it wide and trusted the stability of the disc to just carry back towards the basket, and he's absolutely parked it. So now it's going to be a putting contest for A-State if they can put this one in to not lose a stroke to Ole Miss early in the round.
Yeah, and that's sitting there just missing low. Something he struggled with in the semifinals was missing low as well, and he'll look for his partner Jonathan Underwood to put it in the basket. And Jonathan misses low as well, and Arkansas State's going to drop an early stroke here. But like you said, Charlie, we've got a long way to go, and Ole Miss, they're a good team, but Arkansas State's number 3 in the country, and they'll be able to fight back.
Yeah, for sure. In doubles play, losing a stroke early is you sort of just have to chuckle to yourself and keep moving forward. Both of these teams have played doubles all throughout our regular season, which was 7 weeks long, so they're used to going up and down in terms of score. But Ole Miss will take a stroke there, which is good moving into this next hole because it's kind of finicky. Hole 3 is 345 feet, plays uphill, it's par 3. BL is going to throw his a bit high, but you want a turnover on this shot. The line you're throwing is completely dependent upon the wind. So if you have a headwind, you have to throw an overstable wide rim driver and hope it just parks itself on top of that plateau up there. And if there's a tailwind, it's the complete opposite. You're throwing something understable over to the left and hope it flips up and lands by the basket.
Yeah, and this is a long 345 feet, and you can see Cole just turned his over a little bit. I'm still out in the open for an easy up and down, but they're not going to have a real good birdie look here.
Yeah, so Sitton's going to hopefully get a wind read off of those 2 shots and correct a little bit, but it looks like he's turned his over, or maybe it's going to hyzer out too early. We'll see. Yeah, that hill on the left side slopes off pretty steep, and if you're over there, you pretty much have no look at a 2. So Jonathan's going to try to make any mistake but that one, and he's made the opposite miss and turned his over. That's probably going to land right about where the second shot from Ole Miss will be, and it'll be another long putting contest.
Yeah, one hyzered out, one turned over, just couldn't get one right in the middle. And once again, Dawson Burge is deadly from this distance. He knocked down a number of them throughout his career at Arkansas State, and you can see he gives it a good run there and just off the rim.
Yeah, that's a good confidence builder. Jared now knows that Dawson's parked, and he's going to give this one as firm of a run as possible.
Yeah, and I like the strategy there by Arkansas State, putting Jared and Dawson together. You're going to see a big putt from one of those two at some point in time.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you can go, Arkansas State and all the other teams in the conference are looking at this course, and they've all had at least one practice round, hopefully, if not more. So they know which holes they're going to probably need big putts on and which holes they're going to park. So it's really just a strategy for them to put 2 of their long-range putters on the holes where they may need to make one of those big ones.
Yeah, and Cole Neal taps in for Ole Miss. They're not going to be losing any ground here, and they're going to keep their one-stroke lead going into hole 4.
So yeah, Arkansas State still one back of Ole Miss, almost capitalized on that huge putt, and we'll see if they can make up some ground on this 380-foot par 3. Yet again, it's uphill, so you have to throw a less stable disc than you think you might for an 830-foot shot. Most of these guys can throw 400, if not a little bit farther. So they're going to be wanting, the instinct is to throw something overstable and flex it out to the right. But if you want to park this hole, the shot is actually farther left that glides up that hill and then gets a little bit of a skip.
Yeah, there's some OB behind the basket, but one good thing about this hole is if you land right at the bottom of the hill, you're putting uphill, and so you should have a good look at it at least. And Dawson Burge is showing off his power here, trying to get up the hill and give Arkansas State a look. And he's put them within about 40, so they'll have a good look at note 2.
Yeah, that was a great shot right on the edge of the circle. Since Dawson's not quite as close as they need to be, Jared will probably correct and throw a little bit higher and to the right. And he just turned that one over out of his hand. You can see him walking away. He wasn't happy with it. Jared's a highly competitive player, and he was definitely disappointed with that shot. But we'll see if he can capitalize on the next hole.
Yeah, and you can see that putt just not high enough with the hill. Cole Neal's going to look to get a little bit higher and give themselves a chance.
Yeah, but I mean, honestly, with the OB behind the basket, it's not a bad strategy to have maybe your second putter or your first putter lay up and the second guy can give it a hard run, just like we saw there from Ole Miss.
Yeah, and here's a chance right here for Sitton to capitalize and put Arkansas State back up. But, Charlie, that's out of bounds.
Yeah, the putting woes continue for Sitton. That's a putt that he probably wishes he had back. In singles match, that would have been really devastating. But we'll see if Jonathan can put this one in. He's probably going to go a little bit less aggressive.
Woo, that was close. It looks like he didn't give it quite a full bid there. Maybe a little bit worried about that out of bounds. But, no harm, no foul. They're going to tap in and get the par and stay within striking distance.
Yeah, that's just fine. And Jared, you see, came right back. That was a nice confident stroke. Pro side, high in that disc catcher, and fell right in. So, there's not gonna be much of a gain for each team here. They're both gonna take pars. That's all right. That hole, you really have to get it close if you want to look for 2.
Yeah, and you'll see that our score is still Ole Miss at 1 under par and Arkansas State at even going into hole 5. Another must get here, Charlie.
Yeah, hole 5 is 270 feet. The road to the right plays OB, but it really shouldn't be a worry for any of the players who are throwing this hole. The backhand hyzer with an overstable fairway driver is my preferred play here. I throw a Firebird or an FD3 and just hook it out to the right and hope it fades back in. You'll see Cole throwing that line right now. He got that a little bit low, and we'll see if it can skip off the road and maybe get close to the basket.
Yeah, and he gets a skip off the road and a little roll there, but they're going to be about 30 feet out. Should have a good look at it. And Parker Sitton's going to line up here for Arkansas State. Looks like he's lining up a Sexton Firebird.
Yeah, he got that one a little bit inside. There's an inside line if you want to throw something a little bit straighter. You can reach this with a mid-range if you throw right up a gap. The Firebird play or the overstable fairway play just kind of takes those trees out of your worry, and you can just kind of throw your shot hard and hope it nestles up right next to the basket. Jonathan sort of split the difference and threw an overstable disc, a driver that time, and landed on the inside, and he's pretty well parked. So this is going to be another moment where the putting is going to be the separator. We're probably going to see that a lot throughout this match.
Yeah, and that's just one of these courses where, you're going to be right at the edge of the circle for a lot of these holes, and you're really going to have to knock down your putts.
Yeah, this course produces a lot of 25 to 35 footers. So if that's not in your wheelhouse, or if you're feeling shaky or you're not quite committing to your stroke, that's when you can lose strokes easy on these double formats.
Yeah, and Captain America, Parker Brewster, just bangs one in there. High-speed putt right into the jeans.
Yeah, that was a good shot. Jared's going to come up here and hopefully tap this one in for Arkansas State from about 15 or 16 feet, and we'll have a pair of deuces on this hole, which is what we should see, and anything under 300 with a wide-open hyzer line.
And Charlie, I believe we have a Matt Lloyd sighting over there, the Arkansas State coordinator coming in to check out the SCDGA action.
Yeah, Matt came over, and he's actually a Russellville native, I believe. Went to school there for a couple of years, and he couldn't resist to come out and see us play, so we're glad to have him. Hole 6 is probably the tightest gap on the course, if not definitely the tightest gap on the course. The play here in the long position is to throw that shot exactly. Actually, Brewster threw a great shot and just absolutely parked that hole. For someone who doesn't have a confident forehand, you're going to be looking at more of a mid-range up the gap that turns over and lands short of the basket. Or you can do what Jared did and not worry about getting too close, but just worry about penetrating as far down the fairway as you can with some sort of control driver, which he's done beautifully.
Yeah, and that's one of those things you can do in doubles. You can have one shot that's a little safer, and now Dawson knows that they have a good look at it, and he can try to get it even closer.
Exactly. Dawson's throwing a truth on this hole, I think. And he missed those two trees by about a millimeter and went pretty deep. He's pin high, but probably about 40 to 45 feet to the right and with no look. So they're going to be taking Jared's shot on this hole.
And Parker misses again. Good look on that time, but Parker is yet to knock one home for Arkansas State, and he's looking for Underwood to kind of bail him out here. Now you begin to wonder if maybe Arkansas State would have wished they would have split up their two putters.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, the other thing is that this is a long round, like we've been saying constantly, but 27 holes is long enough to where these teams are going to have to pace themselves, So if they're not getting the birdies right away, they're not going to be freaking out about it too much. They're going to lose a stroke here, but they're only 2 back through 6, and there's plenty of golf left. And the course is going to change a little bit in the next couple of holes. We're going to have a couple more wooded shots and then some big shots where they can air it out and Jonathan can use his distance, and we can really see what these teams are made of when they're out in the open. So there's a lot of different golf to play on this course, and this is just the beginning.
Yeah, and Arkansas State's going to go down by 2 here, but Arkansas State's an experienced team. A lot of older guys. They've been in this position before. They've played in a national championship. They know that they can come back. They just have to keep playing their game and keep pressing on.
Yeah, Arkansas State is not worried at this point. They just got to start hitting their lines and communicate with each other a little bit more than they're doing. So that first shot from B all hit right off that tree. So really it's up to Cole here to absolutely try to get this as close as possible. And that's a great line. This hole is one where having local knowledge and having that local line really helps. It's about 380 feet and through the woods, and that line that Cole threw is almost perfect. You want to get it low and turn it over all the way, and then have a soft fade at the end. This hole, a 2 is almost impossible for most players, so a 3 is going to be a competitive score. But honestly, in singles play, I'm happy with a 4. But these teams are both going to be looking to get at least a 3, if not have a look at 2.
Yeah, Jonathan Underwood's going to line up his shot, and he's looking to hit that same gap. We're going to see the finish here and see that he's hyzering out a little bit, but he got a nice flex turnover on that, and that should give them a good chance for up and down.
Yeah, Jonathan threw that great. I'm not sure exactly what he threw there, but it turned over slow and turned over late, and they're going to have probably an outside the circle look at 2, which is fantastic.
Yeah, Brewster goes for this putt and hits it just off the band. That would have been a huge putt there for Ole Miss, and let's see if his partner Parker Sowers can knock it home.
Yeah, I mean, they're inside the circle probably right at 18 to 20 feet for their 3. So, Baker, would you be giving them the green light, or you telling them to lay it up?
You're up by 2 here. I'm going with a nice little half bid here, and Sowers, that's kind of his putting style anyway, so I think it'll work out just fine.
See if he can convert here. Oh, hits an early tree and drops down, and that needs to stop rolling.
Woo, it's going, and luckily they have that one shot within 18 feet there. One that you would expect Cole Neal and Bial to be able to knock home and make sure that they don't lose any ground here.
Jared didn't quite get his stroke on that one. I don't see Jared straddle putt that much, and he usually just kind of stands right over his disc and just pops it in there. And he just kind of didn't quite get the stroke on that one and left it just a bit left. We'll see if Dawson can correct.
Yeah, and you see that tree there that's kind of messing with their stance, and it looks like neither player were able to get their power behind the disc and just faded out too early.
Yeah, and they're going to be disappointed. They're going to be losing, or not losing a stroke, but they're probably going to be tying. Oh, maybe not.
Wow, and that's where you really need the second guy to knock the putt. It's a good thing you have teammates in doubles because that can happen sometimes, but Cole Neal, he's a good player. And
Baker. The dreaded 3 putt for Ole Miss in doubles.
Yeah, and that's going to be a big momentum shift here. Ole Miss was up by 2, and now they make a mistake, and that's going to be in their head for the next couple holes at least.
Yeah, I mean, in doubles, if you both get that tree kicks or somebody goes out of bounds or you both chain out or any of those sort of bad breaks that happen, those are easy to deal with because you can just kind of chalk it up to luck and keep moving forward. But out of this team, we should not see anyone miss twice. We shouldn't see a team miss twice from 20 feet. And so that Ole Miss is probably going to be thinking about that one on this tee shot, which you don't need to do because this tee shot requires absolute focus.
Yeah,
you'll see Burge lining up a backhand. That's the preferred line. There's not really a forehand line unless you can throw something flippy that kind of stands up and finishes to the right. You really need to penetrate as far up this hill as possible because that basket is on top of a mound that probably elevates another 5 or 6 feet.
Yeah, and Sowers is showing you that there's not a forehand line, a primarily forehand player, but he's going to go with the backhand here. But Charlie, you know what? I bet I could find a forehand on this hole.
Baker, I think you could probably find a forehand on any hole if you believed in yourself hard enough.
And we're going to see Parker Brewster line up the backhand as well. And this basket's kind of tucked up on that plateau, so you need to give it a little bit more height than you think for a 250-foot shot. And that's a good tree kick there for Brewster. That'll put Ole Miss within range.
Yeah, for sure. This is one of those holes where if I'm outside the circle, I'm not even trying to putt it in. I'm just laying up. I'm throwing my Nova or something sticky that's going to flop around and hopefully sit right on top of this rocky shelf. The rollaways on this hole can be absolutely devastating, but that one's pretty close. And they capitalize with a good birdie. That's a great putt by Cole Neal.
Yeah, great putt by Cole Neal. He missed that last short one, but came right back on hole 8 and showed his confidence and put it right in the back of the basket.
Good shot. We'll see if Parker can make the same.
Oh,
really
good putt
confident
by
stroke.
Parker.
Really
Yeah.
confident stroke from Parker. He's probably got that back. So maybe, you're right. On hole 7, we had that 3 putt, and that may have been the momentum shift that A-State needed to start bringing back some ground. Now they're only 1 back of Ole Miss, and now we're on to hole 9. Baker, what do you think about this hole?
Yeah, this is a big hole. You're going around the bend to the left. This bathroom up there is going to play out of bounds. You kind of want to go be around these trees. It's going to be hard to get a 2 on this hole. Really, what I would do in doubles play is I'd try to get 1 shot safe and then have somebody go aggressive. With Sitton hitting off a tree, Underwood is going to have to make sure that they stay in bounds here. And he goes real aggressive, Charlie, and he's way down there.
Yeah, this hole plays just under 530 feet, and he's probably pin high with maybe a 60-footer for 2, which is honestly a miracle for most players. This is an incredibly tight gap, and if you want to get anywhere close to the basket, you have to throw a perfect hyzer flip that sort of stands up late and then finishes straight without much fade. So they're going to have a really easy look for 3 at least, and we'll see if Cole, with his distance, can kind of flip one over and get past that corner, which is essential to have a clean look at 3.
Yeah, and Cole was in the woods, and it looks like his look may be closer, but it looks like they might be better off going with the wide open look on the other side.
Yeah, the other drive had probably a 250 to maybe 260 foot clean upshot, so I'm not sure what they're thinking. Maybe they think they're going to throw it in. It's a bit early in the match to be going for that, don't you think?
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, maybe that's just something where they feel confident, closer, and not really feeling confident in their upshots. But I'm with you, Charlie. This looks like quite the obstructed look to try and go for it.
Yeah, the only thing I can think of is that maybe Sowers didn't feel comfortable with the backhand approach, and his forehand would have skipped down the hill a little bit. But other than that, I can't really think of a reason why they would have taken that low percentage gap out of the woods. So, Burge left that a little bit right and a little bit downhill, but it's still close enough for them to make, and I expect Jared to put this one right underneath the basket for 3, if not try to give it a little bit of a run.
Yeah, and he obviously gave that one a run. This is a shot where Arkansas State expects to go up and down 100% of the time. And Ole Miss trying to keep pace here and not lose the stroke and have Arkansas State tie it up, but that one's just going to be a little off the mark.
Yeah, and I mean, that wasn't exactly close. So if I'm Cole, I'm thinking I have to bury this one or lay it up, and there's no other option. So we should see a fully committed putt right here.
Oh, and Cole was going for it, but just went low and to the left, and Ole Miss is still going to have some work to do.
Yeah, Ole Miss is going to have to make about an 18-footer uphill, which is no gimme with the swirling wind that can happen on this hole, and they're going to lose at least 1 stroke to A-State, which they've now tied it up through 9 holes, just like we predicted. And honestly, this is one of those putts that can make or break a round. We're a third of the way through now, and the confidence from that 3 putt on hole 7 may be in their head, and this is one where they really need to put it in on the first try and say, yeah, I got this. We're fine. We have plenty of golf to go, but this is an essential putt for Ole Miss.
Yeah, no better than the returner, Parker Sowers, to try to knock this one home about 16, 17 feet uphill, and he puts it right in there. No question about it.
Yeah, great stroke, right side, just dropped right into the pan. So now we're all tied up, -4 through 9, which is a good score on this course. For doubles, it's solid. Perfect score on this course for doubles would probably be around 6 or 7, but like I said, this is a difficult course, and they're not going to be mad with 4. Hole 10 is another tricky uphill shot. There's going to be a backhand line that Jared shows us. He got it a little bit low and a little bit too flat. Or there's a big forehand line or anti-turnover that floats up to the basket. You want to play something that's going to give you a look at 3 no matter what. So if you're going to go aggressive, you want to feel very confident in that shot and not leave yourself too much of a look, because this green up here has pretty much been made entirely of gravel and can be pretty tricky.
Yeah, and Sowers shows us the big forehand shot, and he's going to give Ole Miss an outside the circle look, and that's a huge forehand. It's 345 feet, but uphill, to me, this plays much longer.
Yeah, it probably plays closer to 415 uphill. So that was an absolute mash by Sowers there. Brewster just kind of turned that one over a little bit, and that's not a preferable look because you're going to have to throw something that fades down the hill, which can be scary on those rocks you see right there.
Yeah, and the captain, Parker Sitton, is going to put one about 10, 15 feet away from the basket. And this is one where if I'm Arkansas State, I'm telling Underwood to go for it. You have the green light.
Yeah, I'd say that they're going to make that putt every time, and Jonathan definitely gave that one a more aggressive run. I'm not sure if he was trying to put that in or just get it really close. Either way, it's fine. They're going to be taking a 3. And BL gave that one a little throw-in attempt.
Yeah, he has that little floaty half throw, half putt, but Cole Neal bangs these putts, so let's see if he can make this one and get Ole Miss right back on the board.
You know, and he just didn't really look like he took his time on that one. He didn't go through his putting routine. When you're playing against Cole and he's beating you, he has a completely solid and immaculate putting routine that he does every time, and he really focuses in. He's very methodical, and you can see he rushed that one, and he's probably kicking himself for not taking the time and slowing down.
Yeah, Cole Neal's usually a guy who bangs putts them really hard. He kind of floated that one, and that's going to leave the score tied. Hole 11's 258 feet. The only thing you have to watch on this forehand right there is that road to the right-hand side, but it really filters down nicely towards the basket, and you'll see Sitton puts one right where you want to put one, but he goes a little bit deep. If you have the mid-range forehand game or the backhand putter game, that's going to be more a better fit for this hole.
For sure. And Jonathan's going to go the opposite route. He's going to take an overstable mid-range. I think that's probably a justice from him, and try to flex it out between that gap that's right in front of you. The trick with that shot is that you have to get it high and super turned over the road so that it skips back or fades back. And BL got a better line on that one, a little bit low, maybe a straighter disc, but it's really hard to park this hole unless you have a great forehand that skips and doesn't go OB, or you can absolutely nail that turnover line.
Yeah, that was a worm burner there, and Cole Neal's going to go for the backhand line as well, but he hits a tree early, so looks like they're going to be forced to stay with BL's shot.
And this is probably the third or fourth 30, 33-footer that we've seen from Ole Miss. You know, they're not quite putting themselves in easy birdie territory, and they haven't really converted on a big putt yet, so this is one where they need to start slowing down and sort of thinking through their game plan and making sure they have a short look and maybe a longer, more aggressive line at it.
Yeah, absolutely, and Brewster can't do it either, and that's going to leave Ole Miss with a 3 on this hole, which is not desirable. Arkansas State's going to look to take advantage and knock home this putt, and Jared just misses low, but they've got another putter right behind him, and Dawson Burge, who you would expect to at least give this a good look.
Yeah, this is the Dawson special right here. I would bet he's going to bang this one right in the middle.
Oh, and off to the left-hand side, and Arkansas State can't take advantage. And that was a mistake there by Ole Miss, not getting their disc near the basket, but Arkansas State is going to be left taking a par as well, so the score is going to be tied going into hole 12.
Yeah, and you just saw Cole clean that up. That was probably, only 15, 16 feet, but you saw how clean that stroke was, and that he took his time and focused in, so he'll be looking to continue that throughout the next couple of holes. Hole 12 is another hole where being a local helps. You really have two options as far as I see it on this hole. You can throw a hyzer flip, which turns late and then fades just at the end softly, and you'll see Dawson try to throw that line right here. He's really, really great. I think that's probably a trespass he's throwing.
Yeah, and absolutely. He gets a good bit of turn and a good bit of distance, and that's going to skip up right next to the basket. Absolutely parked from Dawson Burge, and that's going to give Arkansas State the birdie.
Yeah, that was a great shot. The other option on this hole is a forehand roller, which I know you're...
Fantastic. I love the
You're probably going to be happy with.
Yeah, every time I play this hole, I throw a forehand roller. I think it just works out perfect for how this hole is set up. But you'll see Parker Sowers going with the forehand air shot here, and with his distance, he's going to try to get the turnover flex, but he just didn't quite get it over. He got over too much there, and it went towards out of bounds, but at least it's out in the open.
Yeah, so once again, Ole Miss is going to have an outside circle look at birdie, And this one's tracking.
Woo!
Oh!
And BL has that nice little half putt, half throw, and you just know that one of those is going to go in before the round's over. And Cole Neal, he's taking his time, his nice methodical putting stroke, and just not enough.
Yeah, he's jumping a little bit, he's sailing, he's a little bit more of a direct putter, and maybe he's just really trying to get him in and not quite focusing as much and trusting his game. But Arkansas State's going to take the lead with that hole, and we're getting close to being almost halfway done, and this is the beginning of a swing that might send Arkansas State into an unbeatable volley of birdies, which they're known to throw down on these doubles matches.
You do not want to get behind Arkansas State, the defending conference champions, third place in the national championship. These guys are good and experienced, and if you're down, they're going to make sure you stay down.
And this is a hole that these guys have all played multiple times, and that's an advantage because this hole is about one thing, and it's about speed control. Jonathan threw a justice there, hung it out a little bit wide, and just turned it on a good hyzer angle and spiked it right into the green, and it didn't roll very much. As you can see, BL's throwing, I think that's a wide rim driver, and just sailed it long. So this hole, if you throw anything pretty much faster than a mid-range, you're probably going to go deep. Just like Cole did there. Or no, sorry, this is Cole's shot. We just saw the two finish in a row. That's a good shot from Cole. So he's probably right inside 20, 23 feet.
And again, another one of those testers. But Parker Sowers knocks it home for Ole Miss for the birdie. And Charlie, that's a big putt right there to gain some of that momentum back.
It is. That's the first good putt he's made all around. And it couldn't come at a better time. We're right at halfway done with this match. Jared banged that one, no worries. And they're going to remain one stroke behind Arkansas State going into hole 14.
Yeah, and hole 14, 396 feet, par 3. It's going to be another big hyzer backhand shot, and you're going to see the line here from Jared. And looks like he caught a little bit of that tree, but that'll still filter down towards the basket.
It's probably a good thing he caught that leaf. It was looking like it was lining up with that tiny tree that's right down the fairway. For a right-hand backhand player, the play on this hole is just what Jared did, maybe turn it over a bit more. You can see that Dawson went for that, and he's turned it over on the right amount, but just didn't quite have enough juice on it. The best play is to skip it off the road if you're a right-hand backhand player and hope you land soft. I don't know what what Sowers is going to be doing here without a forehand option.
Yeah, and it looks like he tries to go the backhand route, but you can see he's a forehand guy, and that's not his cup of tea. Charlie, I'm going to be interested to see what Arkansas State takes here. They've got one shot out in the open, about 60 feet, and they have one shot in the woods. I guess it's really going to depend on how thick those woods are, because that one's a lot closer.
Yeah, I'd say that if the woods are anyway an option, they'll be taking that shot. Unless Ole Miss can throw this one in, which BL might be able to the way he's been doing it.
You never know. With this little throw-in shot by BL, they're always close. Always looks like he's going to make it in. And it looks like Ole Miss is consulting with their team there, and it looks like they've decided for Cole Neal to just lay this one up.
Yeah, that was a half run, half layup. I'm not sure which one he was going for there. But either way, they're going to be taking a 3. Looks like they decided to play the Bush shot, which is an interesting play. Jared, that's Sitton. He missed his just left, but that's a tap in for Arkansas State to match Ole Miss's 3. So this is going to be a little bit of a straddle contest for Underwood. See if he can find a good gap and put it in.
Yeah, and Underwood, let's see if he can use his long arms. And wow, what a putt by Jonathan Underwood through the woods, and Arkansas State's going to have a 2-stroke lead going into the halfway point of the match. Great job by Arkansas State showing resilience there to get right back into the match and then take the lead. So that's going to be it for the first part of our coverage. We'll be back soon with part 2, and you can see how this one concludes between Arkansas State and Ole Miss.
Good deal.